welcome back to the Star Wars Expanded Universe, narrated by Disney, or on Lucasfilm, whichever way you slice it. Legends. Today, I have something funny, kind of. Before I get to the title of the video, we have The Final Exit short story. It was in an Insider, but you don't need to go find that because you can easily find it in a collection of short stories from the Tales of the Empire, or Tales of the Bounty Hunters? No, I think it's Tales of the Empire book. That's a collection of short stories. It's in there. The Final Exit, I don't have much to say about it. It's okay. I don't have much to say about it. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. It's a short story though, so I don't really want to spoil it for you. But we follow people. There's a Jedi, or is he, or isn't he? Or is he a Darksider? Or is he nothing? Is he an actor? You have to read to find out. But I don't think it'll be the last time we hear of this new character. But, yeah, The Final Exit. You can go check it out. It's okay. But moving on to what I really want to talk about, which is Jabba the Hutt had his own comic run. Yes, there's a 4-issue comic run with Jabba the Hutt that came out in the 90s. Who asked? I don't know, but I'm kind of glad they exist. They're not bad. They're not very particularly good, but I think I enjoy these more than I enjoy the Droids comics. But yeah, so there's not really any spoilers here. Issue 1, Jabba is traveling with Bib Fortuna and some of his other Goonies, and he is talking to this person, this other crime person, and he has a trick up his sleeve. Very, very chess player sort of thing. I don't want to spoil it because it's a short little funny comic. They're all kind of comedies, but they're really graphic. But yeah, so that first issue, without getting into spoilers, I just like how intelligent and cunning it shows Jabba to be, and how he always, kind of like Lando or Han Solo, but in the more evil aspect, always makes it out on top until Leia would choke that bastard's freaking throat. But there's that. Issue 2, they find this ship, which they think is a bunch of losers. So they're just going to go steal. Oh, sorry. They're just going to steal from them because why not? Until they find out that they were being tricked the whole time because it was actually fake. It's actually this other group. There's this big slug-like lady, kind of like Jabba the Hutt, but bigger, with like 6 arms and a big teeth and scary. And of course, by the end, I guess I'll say Jabba gets the upper hand, without getting into too big of spoilers because these are short little comics. Issue 3, after the events of the second issue, Jabba wants to sell some things that he stole from the lady. And so he goes to this dealer he knows, but the dealer's kind of going crazy. And so his son talks to Jabba about maybe killing his father, so that he could take control because he's all got it together, unlike his father. Jabba obliges, and personally just puts a pillow over the guy's face and kills him, which is not the most graphic thing we've seen in this comic. But also seeing Jabba just personally get his hands dirty is crazy. But anyway, his son's like, thank you, now I'm in charge, and I have ultimate power here. I'm putting you back in jail. Unless You kill this guy for me. So he's like, I'm not doing that for you. You said that you would let me go and let me do my stuff after I helped you kill your father. And so the sister, the sister comes by and she's like, I'll help you if you put me in charge because my brother's an arrogant butthole. And so he obliges, choking out the the son and then jumping on him, making his body go splat. And then the sister betrays him. So he gets put back in prison, but she says, if you kill this guy for me, I'll let you go. So he instead eats her, gets out, finds the guy that they wanted her to kill, kills that guy too, and heads on back home to Tatooine. It's really funny to me. And they're a lot of fun to me. I don't know why. And then we get to issue 4, which is probably my favorite, just in terms of story wise. Basically, um, Jabba is tired because he's gone on all these adventures and he just wants to rest at the palace. Bib Fortuna now. Now you gotta remember, Bib Fortuna, if we're talking about story wise, has had basically nothing chronologically. Maybe publication wise, but chronologically not yet. And he's been around since the prequels. Like, I think the first time we might have saw Bib Fortuna was in the Star Wars comics when Kiada met, you know, Harad Head and Ashrod Head. Um, in those comics, Outlander, I think Bib Fortuna was there. But he doesn't have that much character development. But in here, the whole plot is that he doesn't want to assassinate Jabba. He wants to take Jabba by force, torture him, and get all the information he possibly can. All your friends, all your allies, all your enemies, all your trade routes, all your this and that, and business ends. And I want to know all of Jabba's secrets so I can become the new Jabba, essentially. And then I'll kill Jabba after I've gotten all the information I need out of him. And it was just interesting because we haven't really gotten that much of Bib Fortuna, but he's been around forever, for as long as the prequels at least. Um, and he was like, I hate Jabba. Jabba freaking, I'm his slave. But on the other hand, because the events of this comic that make his plans not go awry, he ends up having to save Jabba, which only makes Jabba trust him more. Um, but I just thought that was interesting, especially because I can't speak for the Book of Boba Fett. I don't watch it. I don't watch new canon. But I'm pretty sure he was earlier on in the show before Boba Fett killed him or something. He was in it, which makes sense because also I know later on down the line, once we get past episode 6, we'll get to the Rogue Squadron comics. And in those comics, I believe Rogue Squadron goes to Tatooine at one point, and they got to take out Bib Fortuna because Bib Fortuna has become the new person in charge of the Tatooine stronghold, which just makes sense. But I appreciated this issue a lot just for the mere fact that we got some characterization for Bib Fortuna. Now, maybe publication-wise, we've already had some stories with him, and so this is kind of just reiterating some things. But for me, this is the first time I really got to see that. And that being said, I enjoyed what I saw of him. It wasn't much or anything, but it was still nice to see that with Bib Fortuna. Now, do I recommend these comics? I don't know. They're not bad. They're not good. They are a weird oddity within the Star Wars expanded universe. The fact that it was able to be made. I don't know who really asked for some Jabba the Hutt comics, but we got them, and they're really gory for more than what I was expecting from this comic series. Like one of Jabba the Hutt's henchmen in that second issue I mentioned with that big lady, she just eats him, and you see like when Jabba jumps on the sun, blood splatters. Like it's just I mean, it's not like blood and gore and entrails everywhere, but it's a bit more bloody than I was anticipating. But it was also in the '90s, so those things were a little bit more acceptable, I guess. Um, but yeah, do I? You know what? I think maybe once you've like read most of like the real stories, like the novels and stuff, but you're like, I need to read everything in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. If it's hooked you by that point, maybe check it out. because I did have fun with them, like a lot of fun, but I don't know if they're, you know, something you should like search out for um, otherwise. Um, Places you can find it, if you get the Epic Collection um, Empire Volume 4, which should have Boba Fett on the cover, all the comics are included in that issue. But there's also a separate just for the Jabba the Hutt comics. You can find the art of the deal. No, not Donald Trump's book. The the 4 issues collected in a cover that says the art of the deal, Jabba the Hutt. I don't know, but that was the thing. Anyway, it was a lot of fun though. So thank you for exploring the more. I would say this is probably more of like a deep dive for like the EU, because I don't think this is gonna be one of the first things you hear about when diving into EU. This is more like you're a fan and you wanted to pick up everything, so you picked this up. But it was definitely an anomaly. But yeah, up next, I have the rest of the Lando books by L. Neil Smith to reread. So I hope you'll join me for that as I become smooth and debonair again. Until then, guys, may the Force be with you.